Lyndon?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, we're hearing case caption State of Ohio versus Nathan Roby, case number 25CR000541. We were last here on July 23rd, at which time the defendant entered a written and oral plea of guilty to count 1, possession of cocaine, a felony of the 5th degree, and count 3, aggravated possession of drugs, felony of the 3rd degree, both in violation of 292511 of the revised code, and both with accompanying forfeiture specifications regarding contraband and instrumentalities pursuant to 2941.1417 and 2981.04. The case was then referred for a pre-sentence report and evaluation and a drug and alcohol evaluation. We are here today for purposes of sentencing. Defendant is present with his counsel, Ms. Rachel Smith.
Ms. Smith?
Your Honor, I am not aware of any reason that we should not move forward today, and on behalf of Mr. Roby, and Mr. Roby is 47 years old, and Your Honor, just several years ago, he was a married restaurant owner who lived with his wife and daughter in North Carolina. He and his wife were making more than 6 figures a year in their restaurant business, and then COVID hit. During COVID, the restaurant began to struggle. He did receive assistance, as other businesses did, through the government to keep his employees paid. His father then died. He caught his wife in the act of cheating on him. He ended up picking up an offense in the course of catching his wife cheating on him. And Your Honor, from there, we end up here. Mr. Roby lost everything and began using drugs. In 2022, from 2000 to 2022, Mr. Roby has no offenses. But from 2022 through now, we see the possession, paraphernalia, theft, trafficking, failure to comply, all offenses that we tend to see with people who are struggling with a substance abuse disorder. Mr. Roby has been to prison previously. He was released in September of 24. At that time, he was sober. He then relapsed and caught this case. Your Honor, Mr. Roby has never had an opportunity for treatment, and as indicated by his record, his criminal conduct is a product of his drug abuse, which is tied to his depression, and a lot of it makes sense. Your Honor, we are asking for the court to place Mr. Roby on community control to allow him to treat his depression, which is the underlying cause of his drug use, to treat his addiction, and to begin piecing his life back together. He currently has 134 days of jail time credit. Thank you.
How long you been selling these drugs?
I mean, it's more of a usage, and but pretty much since when COVID happened and my divorce started to come together, it was that's when I started using and things like that. So.
Okay. Well, how long you been selling these drugs?
I mean, I really don't sell them.
Well, you do sell them. So for my 3rd attempt at this,
okay.
How long you been selling these drugs?
It's for use only. It's more just because I can't afford them. So it's.
You can't afford it, so what do?
I help other people get them.
You help, but you sell to other people, and they
Yes,
give you
Yes,
the
sir.
money, and you use that to buy some more, so you can use, and then that's what you do, right?
Yes, sir.
See, that was my first question. Okay, so it's a bad. As Ms. Smith say, you don't have any record from 00 to 22, so it's a bad idea to start off being evasive with me when I ask you a question, okay? Because you want me to do something, okay? You want me to do something specific with regard to your sentence. And if you're trying to bullshit me or give me half a story, then it gives me a bad impression of you. It makes me think that you may not be compliant if I put you on probation. So, what are you doing?
I mean, my goal is to get out and get the proper proper foundation to move forward with my life without using drugs to.
So how do you do that?
Well, I've got, I've got a great family, so I've got a good support network out there. I have some friends that are in recovery, some guys I played football with in high school. I graduated from Mayfield, so I actually have a guy who graduated a year ahead of me. I was considering asking him to be my sponsor. There's a meeting down in Gates Mills, which isn't too far from my mother's house, which I can get to, that I want to start attending. I intend to start seeking some sort of mental health treatment. I've been kind of in denial when it comes to that. I thought I could handle it on my own, and I self-medicating with drugs, and it was obviously the incorrect path of correction. So I'm hoping to get, my divorce is almost finalized. I'm hoping to get some money left over from selling my house in North Carolina and get back on my feet and get a job, obviously. And I'm 47. I lost everything in my divorce. I lost my retirement. I lost all my savings, all my stocks, bonds. It's all gone. It's all been just due to the way the divorce went with my ex-wife. She really me being out of the state was difficult for me to keep representation, and some court dates got missed, and she was granted everything.
Why were you missing court dates?
Because my lawyer actually quit. My initial divorce lawyer that I hired down there quit out of nowhere, and then due to one of my restaurants was right across the street from the courthouse, so I went through 9 different lawyers to try to find one that didn't have a conflict of interest. In the meantime of me trying to find new representation, my ex-wife pushed a court date through, which was for the equitable distribution, in which she was awarded a full everything, the restaurants, to have all my property, everything.
Why were you living up here if the divorce was going on down there?
Due to because I didn't have anywhere to go. My ex-wife was, I was out of the house, and my family's from up here, so I came up here to actually seek treatment and kind of try to get my stuff back
Where
together.
did you go to treatment?
I went to Glen Bay on the west side.
And when were you there?
I was there for, it would have been May of 22 to, I didn't complete it. I ended up running out of money. I didn't have any money. She canceled all my bank cards and everything, so I ran out of cash to pay for the treatment myself, and I didn't have insurance at the time.
Is that the reason that you got out of the treatment?
Yeah.
Was there any other reason?
My drinking. I failed an alcohol test.
That's what I'm talking about. Okay, you gave me half the, I already knew what the answer was, okay? I already know this stuff. Okay? I'm not asking questions to hear myself talk.
Okay.
I'm asking questions to see what the answer is, so I can gauge whether you're honest or dishonest. So far, you ain't passing the test.
Yes, sir.
Okay? So you've been more or less wallowing in your own misery for 3 years, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You haven't worked since you've been up here?
Odd jobs here and there. I was working in a restaurant downtown for a little while.
Where?
I had a Playhouse Square. I was working at the President's Club.
Okay. For how long?
Probably about 4 months I was there, 5 months I was there.
When?
Right as soon as I got up here, I took a job there. So it was in May of 2022 to probably October of 2022.
That's news to me, because your employment history stops at April of 22 in your restaurant in North Carolina. Why did you stop working down there?
Drugs.
Drugs. Why, you can't properly cook while you're high?
No, it was actually, I had a really bad relapse. I didn't go into work. I missed my shifts.
Okay. And so you just stopped working after that?
Pretty much, yeah.
So you haven't really worked for almost 3 years now?
Yeah, like I said, odd jobs. I pick up. I was trying to help get a restaurant opened over on Euclid. I didn't get along with the owner there. That fell apart. It was hard being self-employed for so long to go back working for somebody else because of the divorce going on and everything. It was hard for me to take orders, basically, being self-employed for so long and running the show. It was hard for me to listen to somebody else when I didn't agree with what they were telling me to do.
Maybe you need to humble yourself.
No, 100%.
Until you get your shit together again.
I agree.
Okay. Now, seems to me that you have the ability to do what you were doing before. You just don't have the desire to do what you were doing before.
That's about it. I've been feeling sorry for myself, and what I needed to do was man up. And
What's the time limitation for feeling sorry for yourself? How long is that allowed to go on?
well, I mean,
How long do you plan on letting that go on?
I can't anymore.
I know you can't, but how long do you, because you've been comfortable living at your mother's house, you don't have to worry about coming up with the next dollar to keep a roof over your head. You seem content to do that.
No, I'm not content doing that at all, sir. I actually hate it. I was always the first person to work and the last one to leave, and
Okay? But you're not anymore.
I'm not. You're 100% right.
You may say that you hate it, but you're content doing it because you keep doing it. If you really hated doing it, then you wouldn't have got it booted out of Glen Bay for drinking while you're trying to rehabilitate yourself from drug and alcohol use. And you would have completed it, gone back to work, and rebuilt your life. But you're more content to wallow in your misery instead. And it's because you have the backup plan of your mother's place to live at. That's how I size you up.
Well, in all honesty, sir, my divorce has been, I've been waiting for that to complete. I sold my house in North Carolina last year, and my ex-wife, I have a check for $90,000 sitting at home that I can't cash because she put a restraining order on the check.
Well, the court
so-
put a restraining order on the check.
Well, whomever.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, the court did. She can't put a restraining
Okay.
order on anything, okay?
But
So
she's-
when did the court put a restraining order on that $90,000 check?
Last July.
Okay. And then what steps have you taken to fight that, to get that restraining order released?
I have a lawyer down there that, again, ironically enough, that lawyer quit out of the blue. I'm not sure why. So my sister is acting as power of attorney while I'm in here. We're trying to push the case through. I've already given them $10,000 for retainer fees. They have a 105-page brief or discovery that they've written. They just haven't filed it yet, so I'm trying to figure out what I got to do to get that filed and get that pushed through. My ex-wife's asking for $45,000 out of that check for child support, which we haven't gone to court yet for, so it hasn't been ruled on what I owe, or I'm not technically late on any payments because I haven't been ordered to pay anything. But she's trying to get $45,000 out of that check to, I don't know, for my little girl, for my daughter. So my plan has been all along to get money from this divorce and then start moving forward, and it just keeps, every time I turn around, something gets, like with the equitable distribution, we had a $789,000 ERC credit that we had coming from the government for our employee retention for DERF throughout COVID. I had 85 employees. They all stayed employed throughout COVID. I kept all my restaurants open. I worked really hard to do that. And she was, in that equitable distribution separation, she was granted that whole $789,000. I thought I was going to get half of that. So I planned on opening a new restaurant and buying a new house up here and starting over. Getting visitation, seeing my little girl, all that stuff. And when I lost the equitable distribution, I filed for an appeal, so I hired the new lawyer finally. She appealed it. The judge ruled in my wife's favor again. So she was granted everything. She sold the restaurants, all the belongings, all the equipment. She sold Father's Day gifts she got me. She sold my car. She sold all sorts of stuff, and she walked with the money. So right now, as far as if you were looking at a scorecard, the score's about 1.1 million to $0. So it's been hard for me to deal with that, obviously, and North Carolina, the law is equitable distribution, it's 50-50, so I was counting on getting that money and was counting on starting over. And so not getting that was obviously a shot. It's disappointing, and which didn't help my depression and my drug use. Not saying that that's right, just stating facts. So then, you know, when I finally sold the house, I was like, okay, good, I'm gonna get a little bit of money from this, and I can, you know, get a car, get out of my mom's, get an apartment, get back on my feet, start working. And where my mother lives in Gates Mills is, it's out there. It's, you know, it's almost in Chesterland. And being a restaurant guy, there's not a lot that's close. So taking an Uber, even when I was working in Willoughby briefly, it was, you know, it's a $25 Uber ride there and a $25 Uber ride back to work a 6-hour shift, making $17 an hour. It's not very, yeah, it wasn't conducive to me making any strides to getting out of my mother's and doing anything productive. So it just seems like everything I've done, and I'm not trying to make excuses. I've run into a roadblock, and it's been hard to come up with a strategy and a plan for moving forward when I don't know what tools I have to work with. So, and I know it sounds like I'm making a lot of excuses here, and I probably am, but
Well, you are, I mean, there's no doubt, you are. At least you recognize you are. So your plan is when you get this either 45 or 90,000 to move forward from there. Is that what you said?
well, I mean, now at this point, I've got credit cards and I had a car repoed, so all that, yeah, move forward, yes, sir.
I'm just saying what you told me, that,
Yes, sir.
that
Yeah.
your plan is to get this money from the sale of the house and then move forward. So
Yes, sir.
what if that doesn't happen for another 4 months? You gonna sit on your ass and do nothing for 4 months until it happens?
No, I don't have an option to do that anymore. I never really did have an option. I have
Right,
to-
that option expired like 3 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. I have to grow up and do what I need to do to be an adult and
Okay, but
take care of myself.
But you keep going back to the divorce, okay? And the divorce, from what I can see and what you told me, is clearly her fault, right?
I mean, I did things wrong as well. I mean,
Okay.
I wasn't,
But, I mean, the circumstances of that is she's the one that caused that blow-up, right?
yes, sir.
Okay. And when you look back 5 years from now on it, she's still gonna be the one that clearly caused that blow-up, right?
Yes, sir.
And tomorrow, the score is going to be 1.1 million to 0, right?
Mhm.
Okay. You don't seem like you're prepared to somehow put it behind you, set it aside, move it to the side, and do what you have to do. You don't sound like you're ready to do that.
I'm not trying to dwell on it any more than I already have. I've wasted enough time. I really have. If I'm granted another opportunity, I'm going to seize it. There's not a question. I have too many people in my life that myself included, that I owe it to do better. I'm not doing my legal problems and stuff has caused stress on my mother that I'm not happy about. It's caused stress on other members of my family that I'm not happy about. I want to talk to my little girl again. I have a lot of things I want to do, and it's hard to put it into words. Everything that I feel. And I'm not going to lie, it's been a struggle, and it's going to continue to be a struggle for me with this divorce. But I have to overcome it, and I have to put it behind me and somehow set it aside or move around it. I have to do something because what I'm doing isn't working. I'm 47 years old. I don't enjoy living at my mother's house. I've been on my own since I was 20. I bought my first house when I was 22. I've owned 3 homes in my life. I'm not. What I am right now is a shell of what I was. It's not the man I am. It's not the person I am. I'm embarrassed about it. I'm not happy about it.
What was this offense in Pepper Pike that you went to prison for?
I fell asleep in a car, and then I got arrested for trespassing, and it was a probation violation. But I had possession of drugs on me as well. I think I got arrested for paraphernalia and then attempted failure to comply.
Okay. So what's with the attempted failure to comply?
I was half asleep when they found me sleeping in the car, and I was sort of out of it. And I just was unruly. I didn't agree with the cops. I was I attempted to run kind of, and then I gave myself up. I laid on the ground and gave myself up.
Run, you mean like physically run?
Yeah, yeah.
How far did you get?
No, not far. Like I said, I sort of was out of it. And it was right around Christmas time, and I don't know. I just had a momentary lapse of judgment, and I laid down on the ground and gave myself
So
up.
what kind of drugs did you have on you?
I think I had crack on me at that time.
So they sent you to prison for physically running from your car when you had possession of
Well, it was,
crack?
I had a probation violation as well at that time.
Probation violation where?
I believe it was Cuyahoga County, yeah.
For the trafficking?
Yes, sir.
All right, so you got out of prison September 19th of 24.
Mhm.
What did you do at that point? That's the first time you ever been in prison?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Pleasant place?
No.
Why didn't you try to right the ship then, after that experience?
That's when I started. I was working briefly down in Willoughby, and then I started using drugs again shortly after. Whenever the restraining order came out on the check for the sale of the house, it was all just kind of jumbled up into one area there. And
Why don't you
I wasn't mentally, to be honest with you, I wasn't, at the time I was still feeling bad for myself, and I was using that as an excuse to get high. So I started getting high again. That was basically the gist of it. And then
Why don't you have a license?
Willoughby, I got an OVI back in 2022 or whatever it was that showed up on the,
Okay, so what happened after that? They don't cancel your license for an OVI.
I mean, I don't believe, I think I just have unpaid fines.
Is your driver's license out of North Carolina or Ohio?
In North Carolina.
Your Honor, it's a North Carolina driver's license.
Okay. So you had a legal license from North Carolina,
Mhm.
got the OVI, and then it was canceled.
Mhm. And I just never got it back because I didn't have a vehicle. I didn't have the means to do it. I didn't pay the fines, so I just never got a new license because I didn't really necessarily need one because I didn't have a vehicle. So
Well, that doesn't make any sense to me. Where were you working in downtown Willoughby?
Karma Kitchen.
Okay. So if you were working 6-hour shifts, making $17 an hour, and paying an Uber, $25, you're still coming out ahead, aren't you?
Yeah. I didn't show up for shifts due to drug use for that.
Okay. So what am I supposed to do with you? You've demonstrated that you don't want to complete the drug treatment. What am I supposed to do?
No, I do. I'm honestly, this last 4 months has been hard on me, and I'm for the first time since I've been up here, I'm ready to stop and ready to move on, and I'm ready to be clean. I really am. In my opinion, rehab is, again, I don't know everything, but rehab only works if you want it to work, and I haven't wanted it to work until now. I haven't wanted to be. I haven't wanted to go to
Where did you
meetings.
come up with that concept?
Just me as a person. Like I said, I'm self-employed. I started my company from scratch. I'm a leader, and I do things. I was a leader. When I put my mind to things, I accomplish them.
How much
And
money did you have when you started your company from scratch?
Zero. I borrowed $45,000 from my family. My first company I started, I cashed out my retirement from Darden, and I had $25,000. I invested in that company. That company fell apart. And my ex-wife and I started our new company. So that was the second restaurant company I started. I was my initial business partners. We were supposed to go to court, and the day we were supposed to go to court, they declared bankruptcy, so I never got any of my money back from them. So I borrowed money from my family. I paid my family back in 6 months, and I opened the other 3 restaurants in cash. Then COVID hit, and I guess it was, we were in the process of moving one of our locations. We, like I said, we got the triple P loans. We got a loan from the National Restaurant Association. We did get a $100,000 SBA loan to get the new company started, the new restaurant open, because we needed to buy a lot of equipment. But I've always kind of just been a person that calls the shots. So for me, in my brain, I think that I wasn't committed to getting clean, so I wasn't getting clean. It was just, it's hard for me to explain. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I'm at a loss for words.
it's not that hard to grasp. I mean, you describe yourself as a person that when you decide to do something, that you do it and you're successful at doing it, okay? And you talk about this restaurant business, okay? And the reason you haven't gotten clean yet is because you didn't want to. There's no other reason. So it puzzles me why you haven't wanted to.
Feeling sorry for myself, really. It was just, there's no other reason, no excuse. It's just mentally I wasn't in a place to do it. It's been hard for me. It really has. I mean, I haven't seen or talked to my little girl in 3.5 years. I haven't, I lost my father. He was my rock. He was my support. So when it fell apart, and I didn't have the tools to put it back together. Like I said, I didn't seek mental help, and I should have. I recognize that now. I was depressed. I used to fish. I used to golf. I used to be a saltwater and prairie enthusiast. I used to play in a pool league. I ran 4 restaurants. I had a daughter. I coached a softball team, and I used to go to concerts all the time. And I don't do any of that anymore. I don't care to. I don't even watch the Browns anymore. I don't. It's just my life is.
Shit, that's going to help your mental health not to watch the Browns.
I mean, but I would make it a point every Sunday to go home and watch the Browns, even when I owned my restaurants. I'd dip out at brunch, and I paid for the NFL Sunday ticket in North Carolina for years. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, being a Browns fan in the South, trying to explain to everybody why I left every day to root for them. But I don't. A lot of that stuff that was part of my life isn't anymore, and I strive. I want to get that back. And I want to become the person that I was.
Well, then you have to get it back.
I know, and I need to stop feeling sorry for myself and man up. But for some reason, I haven't done that. And but now, this last 4 months has been, it's been hard. That's a tough time over there. You're closing those cells, and you don't get to go outside. I missed the whole summer. It's been sobering and eye-opening. That I don't have, like I said, I just turned 47. I got to get my stuff together so I can have a retirement. I'm not planning on working until I'm 80. I have a lot of things I need to accomplish again, and doing drugs and trying to do that, it's not gonna jive. It's not gonna happen. So whether I want to or not, I have to be clean. I don't have a choice. I have to move forward with my life, and I've got to, and it's one day at a time, and I just got to, embrace it and start doing it.
All right, Ms. Linden?
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, as I said in chambers, there is a presumption for prison in this matter. He does have prior prison terms. He has a prior criminal history. He's had prior probation violations. I know that looking at his history, probably sending him right now is the appropriate thing to do, but the state does not have an opposition to him being on community control if he has some kind of residential treatment. He does have 134 days of credit for time served. We would ask for the forfeiture of all the contraband and instrumentalities. He does have a mandatory fine. I believe that defense counsel has filed an affidavit of indigency. She indicated that she filed that on or around August 7th. So just a matter of doing the forfeiture specification and forfeiting all the contraband and instrumentalities. Thank you.
How much is the mandatory fine?
$5,000 to $10,000 on the F3, count 3.
When's the last time you talked to your mother?
2 weeks ago.
What about your sister?
Yesterday.
Does your mother not want to talk to you at this point?
No, my mother's actually, she's starting to forget things, so when we talk on the phone, she doesn't really even remember. I call her about once a week, and sometimes she answers, sometimes she doesn't. She changed her phone service from AT&T to Spectrum, and she's been having a lot of issues with that, so I think, I'm not really sure. My sister tried to explain it to me, but it's, she's switching back to AT&T. But she's struggling since my father passed. Her short-term memories starting to go. It runs in the family. My grandmother had the same thing. So she remembers a lot of long-term stuff, but if I ask her what she had for dinner yesterday, she won't be able to tell me. So I just kind of save the money and we don't really talk about much. We talk about mowing the grass and what's going on with the tractor and things along those lines, but
What does your sister do?
she's a stay-at-home mom now. She's had 3 kids. She's got 3 kids. Her first kid started kindergarten yesterday, or today, I guess. Her husband's an accountant.
Who's Roxana Aleph?
Roxana? I don't know. I'm not sure. What's that?
The woman you were in the car with?
Oh no, it was Veronica. I don't know where Roxana came from.
The passenger in the car was Roxana Aleph, A-L-I-F-F.
Her name was Veronica. I'm not sure why she. Is that what she told the officers?
Who is she?
She was a friend. I haven't spoken with her since I got arrested. I was unaware of that, whatever name she gave.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the psychological evaluation, as well as a letter from your sister. Consider what you have had to say, what counsel has had to say. I've considered all the provisions of 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. I'm going to place you on community control for 3 years. You're going to serve 135 days in jail with credit for 134. You have no drugs or alcohol, and you'll be screened. You are to complete an intensive outpatient drug and alcohol treatment program and follow all the recommendations. You're going to obtain a mental health evaluation, and you're going to follow whatever recommendations they make. You're to see only 1 doctor and 1 dentist and 1 pharmacy for any prescription medication. If you are prescribed medication, you're to take it only as prescribed. You're going to sign releases so probation can get any records that exist. You're to attend at least 3 AA or NA meetings a week and obtain a sponsor. You're to obtain and maintain full employment. Get a valid driver's license. No contact with Roxana or whatever her name was that was in the car with you. You're going to pay the costs and supervision fees. There's a $10,000 mandatory fine on the F3, which will be waived pursuant to your indigency. And whatever is subject to forfeiture is forfeited. Ms. Knaus, any other terms?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
You understand the terms?
Yes, sir.
Any question about the terms?
No, sir.
If you don't comply with the terms, the state will file a motion to terminate your community control, and if I find you violated, you face 48 months in prison. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is there anything else, Ms. Linden?
Your Honor, just for purposes of the record, it's community control on both counts and the presumptions overcome.
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Smith, anything else?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
So one of two things are going to happen here. You're going to get out tomorrow and get hopping on this stuff and do all this stuff so you can get your life back, or you're going to continue to wallow in your own misery in your mother's basement. So you choose how you want to live.